Well, we finally did. We are officially in the top 10. The top 10 ranking list. We've had the first 5 matches that I talked about on my favorite Wrestlemania list. Now we're officially in the top 10. And this is when things are going to get very interesting, because everyone will either agree or disagree or have certain of these matches placed in a certain way. We're going to start off with number 10. A match that happened at WrestleMania 17, which people argue as the greatest WrestleMania of all time. I disagree with that, but I do think that Mania was still one of the best they did. But the match itself was great. When I do this match, this list, it's very hard to do. You know, like I said, this is all opinion wise. These aren't ranking like the greatest. This is a match I just prefer watching the most. But this match is going to be on this list. It's iconic. It is the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match number 2, TLC 2, between the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys. Remember back when tag team wrestling actually mattered? If you watched Raw and SmackDown today, their tag team division is such a letdown, disappointment. There's no care in it. You go back to the Attitude Era. I still say Ruthless Aggression Era had some of the best tag team wrestling. I mean, the Attitude Era definitely had their fair share of tag teams. You had Too Cool. You had Hardy Boys, Dudley's, Edge and Christian, Tess and Albert. So you had some tag teams there. You had DX. New Age Outlaws. But the TLC match 2 is arguably the greatest TLC match in history. And there's reason why. Now, these 3 teams have feuded before. They started in that. Technically, the whole tag team ladder match began, I think it was at No Mercy in 1999. It was Edge, Christian versus the Hardy Boys, which the Hardy Boys won. And then they added the Dudleys in there. And they had that triangle ladder match. I think it was at WrestleMania 2. It was at WrestleMania 2000. Or WrestleMania 16. Then they had the first ever TLC match, where they included tables. So the tables represented the Dudleys, the chairs represented the Edge and Christian, and the ladders represented Hardy Boys. That's how the whole concept was made. And then we had this match. This was the TLC 2, but this was the last in terms of the 3-way rivalry. These teams put tag team wrestling on the map. These were the teams that basically stole the show. They stole the show. And you look at this match now, and you look at the teams now, that could be made. You have the New Day, you have the Usos, you have the Revival. Well, now one of the Revival members I guess is free agent now. I think Scott Dawson's free agent, but you could have had like your new version of the Dudleys and put more care in the tag team division, because they have great tag teams. They just don't know how to use them. But here they had care for their tag team divisions, and the tag teams would, especially these TLC matches, would steal the show. I can't tell you all the different spots that happened in this match, because although the match was thinking like 15 minutes, they did so much. I know that Rhino came down to help Edge and Christian out. Spike Dudley came out to help out the Dudley Boys, and then Lita came down to help the Hardys. Before I get to the moment, which everyone talks about, I have to mention this about JR's commentary. Every time I hear this makes me laugh every time, because it is such heavy foreshadowing. So, Edge is climbing up a ladder. He's trying to retrieve the tiles. And we see Leah come down. And she grabs Edge by ankle and she's pulling him down. Pulling off the ladder. And JR's commentary, the line that he said, just too funny. he says, Lita jerking Edge off the ladder. It's like JR paused for a minute. He paused and realized, oh, that sounded wrong. I mean, he's jerking him off the ladder. And how ironic that a few years later, Edge and Lita would probably be actually doing that to Edge in real life. A few years later. Oh my God. just little stuff like that. That you go watch and you listen to some of the commentary and you just laugh because you realize, wow, this actually happens in real life. Some heavy foreshadowing. But the spot of the night, the spot that gets constantly talked about. Jeff Hardy's dangling from the titles. He's got the hold of the titles, and I believe it was the Dudleys that moved the ladder. So he's not standing on anything. Jeff Hardy is dangling down. Edge is on a ladder on the in the corner, and ladder in the corner. And he jumps right towards Jeff Hardy, hits a midair spear, and crashes down about 20, almost 15, 20 feet in the air. I don't know how those guys didn't get hurt or injured at that point. I mean, that is sick. But it made a career out of Jeff Hardy, it made a career out of Edge. It made a moment for them. And this match was awesome. I can't describe it enough. Again, it's too many spots. Too many spots, too many moments in this match. I can't count. But usually the Edge spear off the ladder onto Jeff Hardy is usually the most iconic. For obvious reasons. So, basically Edge and Christian retain. I believe they retained the tag team championships. I think they were the champions going in, if I'm not mistaken. I think either way, they won the tag team championships. They won the match. And this solidified tag team wrestling. Like, these three teams put tag team wrestling on the map. And years later, it was the Grudge era. We had, like, Los Guerreros. We had Billy and Chuck, you know. Later on, Usos, Hart Dynasty. You know, there's so many tag teams. So, it sucks that tag team wrestling today is not nearly as strong as it was back then. But those three teams alone put tag team wrestling in a match, and they would put tag team on the map, I should say, and they stole the show almost all the time, especially when it came to those ladder matches. And those were three of some of the most popular teams. The Hardy Boys were extremely popular with the ladies. Edge and Christian were just hilarious, and the Dudley Boys were a well-known tag team around the world, from ECW, WCW, all over. You put these three in a match like TLC and you're always going to get magic. They had that great psychology. And what sucks is you're never going to replicate this. There was times they did three-way ladder matches and they had a chance to kind of have their own version of that, but they failed. Like the Lucha Dragons versus Usos versus New Day, that had potential to be kind of like a setup for the modern day, tag teams of the ladder matches, and they never rolled with it. And I felt like, why? They had a great ladder match at TLC. I think it was 2015. I think it was between those three teams. It just sucks when you look at tag team division. It's not nearly as strong, or there's no care whatsoever. But this match at WrestleMania 17, it's just fun. It was an awesome match. It was a lot of moments. It made a lot of careers. And it defined what great tag teams we had back in the day. And that if you put in the time and the care, they could even steal the show. At least NXT will do that still from time to time. They'll actually steal the show. So, I can't really say anything else about it. Just an iconic match.